Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Gina and it's been a little while. Today, basically, I'm just going to do a hopefully fairly quick January wrap up. Yes, I know it's the end of February. I don't know where the month went. I don't know. I got nothing for you. But so I want to do a quick January wrap up. As quick as possible, because the problem is I read too much. That's what it is. I read too much. So I'd love to be able to go a little bit more in depth, I guess, on some of the books, but I haven't yet figured out a way to do that where I'm not making a wrap-up video every week and that ends up being the only videos I have, which I also don't want, but oh Lord, I'm not a fan of editing. So let's just do this. Part of the reason why this is so late is because I bought one of these from Kivox and Mikachi. I think their channel is KivoxEnder. I'm in love with it, and I haven't used it yet because I was waiting. But it's a physical, I guess, a physical Goodreads list. So it's my year's books and mine's custom, so it's got my name down there. And then you open it up and it's got places for you to put little book cover stickers. Look at that. I don't know why they've been using this and I've been watching their book videos, and I just loved this. I loved it so much I had to buy it the second they said that they were going to make some for sale. The issue is that I ran into was you don't want to print out black and white book covers. That makes no sense. And unfortunately at the time, at the beginning of the year, when I bought this, my printer was only a black and white printer. It was not a color printer, so I finagled some stuff and convinced my husband and his small business to purchase a colored printer so I could print off stickers once a month. And then there was delays with that, but it finally came. I finally printed and cut out all of these little book stickers. I questioned my decisions, but we're just gonna go ahead and start. Here we go. So my 1 3-star read was, I might just put it on the screen too, because this isn't gonna work, I don't think. Can you? No, you can't really see it. I'll just put it on the screen. It's Once and Future Queen by Adam P. Nave. This was a graphic novel, queer, polyamorous, which I was really excited about. And I didn't hate it, as and I don't know if it's just the nature of graphic novels, because I've just started kind of getting into those more. I just felt things were a little bit rushed, but I did give it a 3-star, and I can have a polyamory reads video planned that I can go more in depth about that. My 3.5-star book was Moonstone by Sean, don't know how to pronounce that. It was for the Diversathon, read a translated book. I'm gonna regret this. All these dang stickers. And I was really enjoying it. It was this close to being a 4-star read, but the ending, I don't know how to describe the ending without being spoilery, obviously. the type of ending that they did with this book is the type of endings I hate. I hate it when they do this. It just killed the whole thing for me. Killed it. Done. And I know the reason why he did it that way, and I understand it, and the deeper meaning, and blah, 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 but no. It took me out of the story and ruined it. So I gave that a 3.5. I almost put it in the 4 stars. So yeah. Yay. Okay, if it looks different, it's because I ended up just going to bed. So we're going to continue on. But I realized in my tiredness that I didn't even tell you what these 2 books were about. I'm gonna stop filming stuff late at night. It's alright. Though, I mean, obviously you would have heard about it if you watched my TBR video. But the Once and Future Queen was about a girl who is super into chess. She is really good at chess, and she ends up going to a chess tournament. I forget where, but basically it's a King Arthur retelling, but like I said, queer and poly. And then the Moonstone one was I think I told is about a kid, and let me say that there wasn't necessarily a plot, kind of, but it's about his experiences. It basically is a gay sex worker, in Sweden. Totally blanked. I can't remember the name of the city, but during the time of the Black Plague, maybe? It was a really long time ago. I apologize. And like I said, I really enjoyed it until the ending. But continuing on, the next book is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. And I heard a lot of really great things about this one. And I did really enjoy it. It was super cute. I read it to my kids. I think this is the one that I labeled as poetry. I don't know if I necessarily would call it poetry, but it was just the boy and the mole end up meeting the horse and the fox, and they go spend some time together and give you lots of words of wisdom and things to live by. This is actually one I don't necessarily buy a lot of books, and these stickers, I swear to God, is one that I might actually buy because I think it's just really wholesome and says a lot of good things that my children need to hear on a regular basis, and the artwork is pretty fantastic. And that one's by Charlie McKessie, and that one I gave a 4 star. The next book on my list was Smile. This is also a graphic novel this one's by Raina Telgemeier. This was a TBR Clever pick, and my daughter, my 8-year-old, told me I had to read it because it's her favorite book. She loves this series, so I did, and it was super cute. It's Raina's experience with braces as a young girl, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 star. This is also really hard because I feel like the only thing I hate about rating system is like romance, middle grade, and I use the same rating system for all these different genres, but a 5-star for a romance is different than a 5-star, for a middle grade versus, fiction or like contemporary fiction or literature. Um, like it's going to be hard for me to give like a classic book a 5-star because I might not connect to it. It's not going to be as easy to connect to it. And romance, it's really just a feeling. The next book on the list that I read, children, was The Bear and the Nightingale by Kathleen Arden. This is the first book in the Winter Night trilogy. And I'll be honest, it was a 4-star read. I initially did not think it was going to be a 4-star read. Because it was quite slow to start off with. Mama? I'm never gonna get this video finished. The Bear and the Nightingale was very slow to start off with. I struggled. And I mean, I struggled. It was very slow to start, and after, I've also read the second one by now, and I've realized that even though her siblings do add to the story, like her family members do add a little bit to the story, I just didn't care about them. Like, I wanted the things to actually happen. Like, I wanted to know Vasilissa's story. This is about Vasilissa, and she's in like this remote little village of Russia, where her dad's like in charge of that little tiny village, but he's beholden to the Moscow prince, the Prince of Moscow, and it's very Russian folklore, with the frost prince, demon, whatever you want to call him, who was a really cool character. I liked that character, but I just didn't care about her siblings. So every time they like told us their stories, or we left Vasya in the little village, and like there's one point that we followed the dad and a couple of the brothers to Moscow to visit the prince. Like, I get it, I just didn't care. Like, it was essential. It was essential. I just didn't care. That's on me, I guess. But I did love it in the end. I gave it a 4-star. Speed this up, Gina. Talk faster. The next book I read was another graphic novel. I've been picking those up a little bit more lately, but I think this might be the last one. On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. And this one is a sapphic coming of age space story. I don't know. I suck. Okay. And I am not going to remember characters' names for the life of me because my brain doesn't work like that at all. I envy those of you who does. And I don't feel like looking it up right now. But, so the main character is at this, like, it's a boarding school, because they all sleep there, but it's high school. It's like middle school, high school. I don't remember the age, but definitely around there. And the main character's kind of like a loner. She doesn't really seem to have a lot of friends until she meets a new girl. A new girl comes to school, and this new girl also doesn't have any friends yet, so main character takes her shot, and they become really good friends, with a little bit of, at some later on, maybe a little bit more than friends. Um, but so it talks about their relationship in the school, and then I don't want to give that away. They become separated. I can say that much because the majority of the story, it kind of goes back and forth, like in flashbacks, um, and is the main character has started a job on this ship, with a crew of like 3 or 4, and they basically go around to different buildings in space, weird floating buildings. I don't understand any of it. And fix them. So they're kind of like almost like a construction repair company for buildings that are, or partial planets. I don't know. You have to bend your logic a little bit for some of this. Like there was a part where they were fixing the outside of a building, and in the images they're tethered, like there's a rope connecting them to either the ship or the building, but they're just floating out in space fixing the outside of this. Like there's no contraptions. They don't talk about any of that stuff, like how they're able to be out in this vacuum of space with nothing. So you kind of have to suspend belief a little bit, which kind of threw me off. But they end up going to find the main character's friend from school. And I really enjoyed it. It was a really good story, and I highly suggest it if you're looking for a sapphic space story, adventure, basically. But it was really good. That was also a 4-star. This is the only problem. I feel like my 4-star row is going to fill up really fast. The next book on the list is Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty, who knew, which I found out, is not a woman of color. She's not Indian or Middle Eastern. She's a white lady who married, I forgot what the descent is. She's not, doesn't hide it or anything, like she says, but like, when you make assumptions about last names, don't do that. But that's irrelevant, really. Kingdom of Copper. I feel like everybody, maybe not everybody, but this is, you follow a character. She's somewhat of a con artist, thief, fake healer, trying to survive. And she accidentally, during one of these fake healing ceremonies, calls forth I think it's called an Ifrit. I think that's what it was. This is why you do your wrap-ups right away, Gina. Who tries to attack her, and then she is saved by a Jinstan. I forgot the long word. And he says that she is part Jinn, and that to be safe, they need to go to the city. That was the biggest brain fart. This is book 2. This is the second book. And I was describing the first book, as I should, because I can't describe the second book without giving away the first book, But, so she goes to the city of Daevabad to stay safe, and to take her rightful place, and learn about her people. And the city's not, I don't want to say it's very split, welcoming, not welcoming, and I suck at describing books. I also gave this one a 4-star. I liked the first one, I liked the second one. I do want to get to the third book in the trilogy to find out how it all ends, and I wish I could talk to you about this book because Dara, which is the guy, the djinn that she accidentally summons, I need to know what happens with the prince and Dara and what's her name? I don't know why I cannot remember her name. What is it? Nari. Oh my god. Ignore me. Look at it. It's so pretty so far. Look at all those books. I love it. Speed this up. Okay. The next book, also a 4-star. I read it for a readathon. I don't even remember which one. But it's Joy to the Wolves by Terry Spear. And I started last summer binge reading all of Terry Spear's shifter romance books. All of them. Because I am a slut for shifter romance. I love it. I don't know. I just do. And I really enjoyed all of her stories. Granted, she has nothing on the Breed series by Laura Lee or the Christine Feehan, any of those books, but I really did enjoy all of Terry Spear's books. Gave most of them 5 stars. This one, I don't know what, there was just something stilted about it. It was a Christmas setting. The main character's grandma has died, and she, in the will, grandmother says she has to work her antique store for 3 years before she's allowed to sell. And so she moves to this new city. She's getting the store set up, encounters a reindeer that ends up in her courtyard, and one of the shifter police thinks she stole it or she's in on it. And then there's the romance blossom from there. There's issues, people that try to break into her shop. And so, of course, he has to protect her and ends up, like, staying there a lot. And, you know, romance ensues from there, as what happens in a romance book. But it was still adorable. It wasn't my favorite Terry Spears book, but I did enjoy myself. I mean, it's rare that I'm not going to enjoy myself. The next one was the 12 Dates of Christmas by Rilty Adams. Rilty Adams? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oh my god. This sticker. Come on. This video is going to be an hour long if I can't get these stickers out in a reasonable amount of time. I have to. Okay, got it. I can't talk while I do it. I don't know why. This was another Christmas romance story. Was there a Christmas readathon in January? No. What did I read this for? You know, I don't think they had a reason. I feel like this one, Enjoy to the Wolves, was just like for shits and giggles, maybe. Because I just looked at my list for my readathons and I don't see anything on there. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Okay, 12 Dates was a kind of like a friends to lovers. situation. You have Zia and Rashad, who were best friends for like ever. And then feelings started happening. It became a little bit of best friends plus, and then Zia basically like panicked and like just cut off their friendship and just was like, nope, we're done. Like, I'm running away. And so this is 6 years later. They unexpectedly meet again when he comes home for the holidays, obviously, for the holidays, and he wants to try again because he's still in love with her, and so he convinced her to let him take her out on 12 dates leading up to Christmas, and she can decide if she thinks that they can make it as a relationship as instead of just friends or nothing. And it was just a really cute romance. There was a little bit of sexy scenes. There was a little bit of sexy. But it wasn't like overwhelming, I feel like. But the dates were super cute. I also gave it a 4-star, though Zia's big old scaredy cat, but reluctant to give it a chance to begin with, was a little irritating. But whatever. The next book was The Switch by Beth O'Leary. This book was so cute. The only thing I will say is it is, what's the word? I feel like it's labeled as a romance. No. No. Like, there was romance in it, but it is not a romance book. And I will take that to the grave. It's about the main character, two main characters. It's two point of view between Lena, the character Lena, lives in London, and her grandmother Eileen lives in this little Yorkshire village, and they basically switch places. Lena, I feel like, needs a break, and Eileen wants a second chance at love, but there's a shortage of eligible gentlemen in her little tiny village, so she ends up, and Eileen, the grandmother, her character is the best. She's so sweet and funny and just fantastic. Lena's boyfriend sucks as a human, but and it's just about their adventures, and Lena has to like take over her grandmother's jobs in Yorkshire, which is like she's part of like a crime watch little group that I feel like they mainly like eat muffins and just talk about gossip. And it's a really, really cute, fantastic story. Like I said, there is love in it, but I don't feel like it's I feel like it's more about them and their relationship, and just go read it. It also got a 4-star. And I will... Okay. Next is Star Daughter by Shweta Thakrar. And this I got in a book box. I don't even remember which one. So I'd never heard of it before then. And it finally fit a readathon prompt. And I really enjoyed it. It was very cute. I will say sometimes the characters in these books, when the main characters are just, and I guess they grow, it's part of their growth, but it's just like you're just stupid. But anyway, she is part star. Um, and at the beginning of the book, though, she is, ignore that, brain fart. Um, Her mom left when she was younger and went back up to the stars. Um, and so she's stayed with her dad. And she finds out, and then she has an issue with her boyfriend. And in a fit of like anger and teenage angst, she strikes out with her light on accident. She didn't even know she could do that. And ends up burning her dad. And so he's in like a coma, and she needs the blood of a full star to heal him. And then she's called up to her family in the stars to participate in a competition for her house, so that her grandparents can be the ruling leaders again or something. It was just really interesting, the concept of this as stars as people, and a little bit of that like, ooh, you're only part star, you're not as good, like an abomination is how some of the people think about it up there. But it was very beautiful, and I really enjoyed the storyline for the most part. There were a few things here and there that I didn't love, but I still really enjoyed it. So this also got a 4-star. So we'll put that on there. 4 stars filling up fast, man. This does not bode well for the rest of the year. I'm gonna need to just stop reading, really. The next book is, the next book on the list was The Interrogation of Ashala Wolf by Amberlynn Quay-Mellina. I read The Things She's Seen, I think is what it was called, by Amberlynn and her brother last month or the month before, and I really, really, really loved it, so I wanted to find more. Amberlynn Quay-Mellina is a Australian Indigenous author, and this book is about the tribe, which is a group of illegals, and illegals in the sense of Tessa, people that have abilities in this world, and certain abilities they allow, and you can register with those abilities and kind of continue on with your life as long as those abilities are minimal, I guess. But there are certain abilities and certain strengths of abilities that end up going into detention centers. And the illegals are a group that have escaped and are not registered. And their leader, Ashala Wolf, is captured by a man who is intent on destroying the tribe. And it's a fantastic cast of characters, a little story, and then there's also a character in there. There's this guy named Justin who is in the detention center as a guard, but throughout the story, like, he's her betrayer. He pretended to be an illegal, or wanting to like join the tribe or something, or he was an ally, I guess is what you would say. But then he ends up helping to capture her, and now he's her guard. And it's all about, will the tribe survive the interrogation? Because they've got this crazy mind machine that can get to your memories. Let me tell you, the twist, child, I did not see this twist coming. Not even in a million years. Never. But no. Amblin is a fantastic, fantastic storyteller. I highly, especially if you want to read more Indigenous author, not even as an Indigenous author, just like as an author in general. Like, I don't even want to say that. Like, but definitely pick her up. You'll be doing yourself a favor. You'll also be reading more Indigenous authors. That's how I'll put that. But this one was a 4-star. Honestly, I think my biggest complaint is I feel like it should have been longer, but it is the start of a series, so I want to continue on, and maybe that will, I mean, there were a few things that probably could have been more explained within the world building, but all in all, it was a great read, and I highly suggest it. And I feel like this is going to be par for the course. Like, I usually pick books that I enjoy and that I know I'm going to enjoy. I have a feeling the bottom of this board is going to be not so full or even empty for the most part. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, and we are going to pause here, and we will continue on with my 4.5 and 5-star reads in a part 2 video, because I read entirely way too much in January, and I don't want an hour-long video, which is what's going to happen if I were to put them all in one. So, thank you for watching, and stick around and check out my part 2, which I will post probably at the same time as this. Maybe. Feel free to comment and let me know what you thought about any of the books I talked about so far, and if you agree or disagree with my ratings. If you think I'm correct, I probably am, but awesome. I will catch you in the next one.